All right, this week we are going to go and make a little portable recording studio. So I've got this little mixer here. I've had it for a while. Actually, all this stuff I'm just going to use what I already have. But basically, instead of being tied to a desk when we usually do steam-powered podcasts, I want to be able to go anywhere and maybe even take this show on the road. So to do that, I want to build like a little box that I can store all the equipment in. Microphones, cables, USB audio interfaces, and have it in a way that's kind of like, it's modular, it's ready to go. Basically, you just get to the site, you flip it open, and you're ready to record. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is do a little dry fit, or little just playing around with dimensions, and basically here I'm trying to see how far the cable sticks up so I can make it the box deep enough, tall enough to actually fit. Then we're going to go ahead and figure out what the size of the bottom and the top will be. It's about 2 foot by about 18 inches. And then it's going to be about 9 inches tall. Go ahead and cut down make the rough cuts for our stock. Then I'm going to go ahead and, for the sides, I'm going to route about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch from the bottom, and make a nice little slot for the bottom to slide into to give it some strength. And I'll do that for 3 side pieces, and then I'm going to do a really thin lip side piece, or for the front, and you'll see why and how that works here in a second. So real quick, we'll do a dry fit, make sure everything fits well, and then figure out what dimensions I need for the side pieces. So get that all wrapped up, and then we'll go ahead and trim those down. Make sure we got everything square, or not. And then we'll go ahead and get everything set up. We'll get our little safety gear and go ahead and make the side, again, cutting down the sides to make it all fit. And then, so obviously magic happens, flash forward. The batteries in the camera had died, and while those were charging, I went ahead and put the side together, or the sides, and then I had a little some hinges for the top piece, so put that together, and then here I got the little latch arm that I'll use to prop up the top when it's open and in use. It's a bright day that day, and it still doesn't work. Alright, so anyway, now I'm trying to figure out again the front lip. So I want to basically have a nice thick lip on the top so I can hide things behind it, like get a little strip of LEDs, so when the box is in use and it's dark, you'll have some light shining down into the box itself. Then here I'm basically playing with the idea of doing some staggered wood, kind of a cosmetic aesthetic. And then I'm going to go ahead and figure out how big I need to make the top piece that's going to hold the front panel in. I was going to hinge this at first, but decided against it just because there wasn't really any value at it. And did I have any? I think I had hinges, but I may have ran out. Again, the goal was to use. I had a bunch of stock left over from previous projects, and I just wanted to use up instead of it just sitting here and collecting into a big pile. So just got to measure out where I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes so that the top piece will mate with the front panel. It's like, I think, 5 holes. And then we'll go ahead and sand it down a little bit, and then we'll get our countersink bit to countersink the holes. And then we'll go ahead and drill the pieces in. Everything will start a little bit, and then there we go. That looks good. Make sure everything closes nice and neat. And we'll go ahead and glue this down. And they'll put, I think, three or four screws on the bottom to hold it. Oh, and to put this to the side pieces to the back piece, I did some pocket holes. And then we'll just go ahead and grind down the excess from the nails that pop through the screws that came out through the hinges, so we can put, again, this aesthetic, cosmetic wood decoration. So here I'm just going back between the bandsaw, cutting down pieces of wood in different dimensions, and then using the nail gun to attach them to the top lid. That's a little bit better of a shot. So the idea is just to have a different look of surface, kind of like a almost like a Minecraft feel, kind of a topography, but everything's square, so it looks pretty enough. Then, of course, the magic. Sanding is the magic part that makes it all work and come together. And then time to stain. I'm a big fan of this early American from Min-Max. I'm just basically going to do one coat, let it dry, do a second coat, call it a day. This isn't going to be anything fancy, so. And then after everything had dried, just do a little touch up, clean up. And then I got these little, the only thing I did buy for it was this little, these little adapters. Oh wait, and I drilled, I used a 1-inch hole saw to put a little hole so the cables could feed down to the mixer, then up to these little stands for microphones. So I'm going to drill 2 of these on here, and then like I said, you can take these little mounts and then screw them on when you want to do the podcast, and kind of serves as like a little stand. Then we'll go ahead and decorate it a little bit, use a little wood burning tool to put on a little symbol, and then over there to the right, used a silhouette portrait to cut out a little the call signs for my amateur radio. And we'll just spray paint that on there. It's just a piece of paper. And then we just cut out just did that in the Silhouette Studio. There we go. And that's about it. So you can see there's the 2 mounts on the top on the left and right. I also put some handles on the side and little latch hooks to keep it closed, but it stays pretty well closed by itself. And then there's all the crap in there. Everything was put down with Velcro. That way it can be removed and yet still stay in the box nice and secure. There's a light up there too. I don't know if there we go. It's a little bright today, but there's a little light up there, so when this is being used at night or in the dark, you can see what you're doing. And then again, you take these little doohickeys, screw them onto the box, and then you can put your microphones on there and have a hands-free operation. And that's it in a nutshell. That was the whole goal. Little there'd be talking, flapping my lips. And then another one on the, yeah, just point out there's another one. So we can both have our little microphones when we do our podcast. And it's pretty lightweight too. Not too bad. Mobile. And that's it.